Yeah, Amber, watching this frightening rotation just around Enterprise, just north of the circle. That's where this is happening now, moving toward the east and southeast. So it's somewhat coming down County Road 248. It'll be into the Daleville area here in just minutes. So I would be getting into shelter in Daleville or areas around there also, and stretching all the way up to 249. That's also included in this tornado warning. And just keeping an eye for any damage reports or anything going on with that. Not seeing any damage being done. Not to say that there can't be any damage done. But there are different views that we can take. We can kind of slice this up here. That couplet is just north of the circle, getting really close to County Road 27. And I will try to put some more streets on here to get the best visual possible. So Daleville, not far from this. This is going to be dangerously close, if not go right through Fort Rucker in the next 5-6 minutes, somewhere around that, trying to give you a little extra time to get in your safe place. But it went from just on the edge of that tornado warning, and that's where it started to look concerning. That was at 10:26, and now just about 10 minutes later, it's made it all the way across the path of the circle from west to east in Enterprise. So Windsor Trace, hopefully you are in your safe place right now. Fort Rucker, I would be sheltered, lowest level of the home, away from windows, walls, and doors. Get in the basement if you can. This is a possible tornado. It's not confirmed, but checking the different damage reports or debris, and I'm not seeing anything that corresponds to that velocity signature, but still very impressive. It is trying to strengthen, it's trying to hold on as it moves closer to the Fort Rucker area, not far from Daleville. Level plains, I would be sheltered as well. You're pretty close to the main edge of this circulation here, and just kind of bring the bigger view. This is what's been going on this morning. So this cluster of storms with some bowing segments has been pushing in from the northwest and is now covering a lot of Covington County, Coffee County, Dale, Henry County, and also all the way getting closer to Houston County. So that warning is not far from the Vicksburg area or northwestern parts of the county. And take this, check a few things here. So back to our Doppler indicated velocity, and we'll zoom right back in here. So this possible tornado right there just northeast of Enterprise and moving closer and closer to the Fort Rucker area, not far from Daleville. So Daleville, I would also be sheltered as well. You're close enough for this to be of concern. Enterprise, the worst of it is just now getting out of the western part of your city there. New Brockton, not included in this, but still some broad rotation near New Brockton. This is moving generally in this direction. So right here, heading close to Fort Rucker in the next 5 minutes or so. Daleville also about the next 5-6 minutes. So
Zach, I'm going to take it back from you for a second. I have a zoomed in picture here of some areas in Coffee County where this possible tornado is. So I've zoomed in close so we could get some streets on here. So if you are in Lakewood Drive area, make sure you are in your tornado safe place. This is a tornado warning, and we are seeing rotation within this storm. Rocking chair, and then legends. This is very hard to read on this map, but if you are in this area of Coffee County, this is in eastern Coffee County, and we are right on the Dale County line here, so this will be headed towards places like Fort Rucker. So if you are in Fort Rucker, make sure that you are in your tornado safe place. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Still looking at that area of some tight rotation. Let's go back here a couple of scans to really show you. So it started off broad rotation, and then it really started to ramp up as it continued off towards the east. So this is just to the north of Cotton Creek Boulevard, and we have 27 there. So if you are around this area of Coffee County. This is going to be off towards the east of New Brockton and Enterprise. So if you are in New Brockton or Enterprise, you are not in the path of this possible tornado. But of course, again, Fort Rucker, I want you to be in your safe place, although it does look like this possible tornado will probably track off to your north. You want to make sure you're safe during this warning. So let's switch over to reflectivity. So this is what it looks like on reflectivity. Doesn't look like a tornado would be in this, but of course it is probably rain wrapped if we do have a tornado in this. So you know the drill. Don't go outside. Don't try to look at the storm. Get to your safe place and stay there until the storm moves through. There's not a whole lot of lightning within the storm either, but this is still a dangerous storm that you don't want to be caught out in. So again, I have both Emily Acton and Zach Hatcher who are keeping an eye on the National Weather Service chat and watching other storms and this one as well for me over in the Weather Center. So I'm going to toss it back over to y'all to see what the latest is on this one.
Yeah, Emily and I checking out radar and the cameras, and you've had some pretty decent views on some of these. I think a lightning strike got one of them at some point.
Yeah, our Rawls camera over in Enterprise saw lots of lightning there. That's what we're looking at right now. And even Amber said, if you try to go out and see this, you're not going to see it. It is rain wrapped, so there is no reason for you to go outside and try to look for something that you cannot see. So just want to put that out there. Here's a live view for you right now, and you can't pick it out on the camera because, again, it is rain wrapped, but definitely showing some tightening a little bit in that rotation. But again, like they keep saying, probably a little bit north of Fort Rucker, but too close for comfort. Definitely need to be in your safe place. Even Daleville. It's looking a little bit north of you, but go ahead and be in your safe place. Again, we're keeping an eye on all of that stuff, and I'll kind of move over the camera a little bit. I think really not, like I said, everything's really rain wrapped, so the camera views are not that great. So if my camera views are not great, your view will not be great. So just keep that in mind. Again, as we are tracking this storm, Hatcher, I will go ahead and toss it back over to you.
Yeah, so this cluster of storms that includes this tornado warning is moving about 35 miles per hour ground speed, give or take a few. So it doesn't give you too much time to get into shelter. This same storm is now moving into southern parts of Dale County and will soon clip the northwestern edge of Houston County. Tons of heavy rainfall, some gusty winds. There's still a lot of lightning in spots on this one, especially around the Enterprise area. Look, a lot of little white dots indicating each lightning strike. But back to the velocity view, we do have that possible tornado. It's not confirmed, has not been on the ground that we know of, but still it is concerning enough that we're going to stay on it until the threat is no more. So right here with our storm relative winds, this is one way to look at it. So you're seeing that curve right there just between County Road 27 and 248. That is the rotation within it connected there to the greens, so the greens touching the reds. Whenever you get it to curve like that, it's still something we have to watch. The rotation's not super tight, but I bet it could strengthen based on what I'm seeing here. That tornado warning is still going until about 11 o'clock. So roughly 15, 16, 17 minutes left on this. It could expire a few minutes early. Some areas will be trimmed back. Enterprise will probably be trimmed back from this here in the next 4 or 5 minutes, and then that warning could continue all the way to Newton, not far from Midland City, if the signature still looks like this. So this is where we could find a possible tornado. That's the Circle Fort right near Daleville, just north of Daleville. And zoom in a little bit more. It's coming right into the Fort Rucker area in just minutes. Hopefully everyone is sheltered in the lowest level of a home, away from windows, walls, and doors. We've had these spin up before just out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere, but fast. Even though we've been watching it, it can still happen like that. And there's another view of it. There it is on reflectivity. Heavy, heavy rain all the way from Daleville to Fort Rucker and areas north and west, including parts of northern Coffee County. Still lightning sprinkled throughout this here, so I would be sheltered, and even if you're not in the worst of it, I'd still be inside. You don't want to play games with this. We do have a tornado kind of day, so we have a tornado watch issued. Conditions are favorable. This is what we're seeing now, a tornado warning. Conditions are favorable, and now we've had a lot of rotation going on here.
Zach,
so.
I'm actually going to take it back from you for a second here. I've been watching this storm. I've been watching the correlation coefficient. That's what we use to see if there's anything tossed up debris-wise within this storm. So I'm going to switch over to it. It doesn't look like anything right now, but I am going to take it back a few scans here because right there, as it crossed to the east of Cotton Creek Boulevard, we did have a dropout in the CC. That's a correlation coefficient. That's the debris tracker that says there could have been a tornado touchdown in portions of Coffee County. So this storm is something to take seriously. So if you are in Fort Rucker, get in your safe place now. Again, it's going to be rain wrapped. You are not going to be able to see it if this thing is on the ground, so make sure that you're away from your doors and windows. Zooming out a little bit, this is what we're looking at, so we'll go ahead and even circle this for you. So it's this area right here that we are keeping an eye on for that possibility of a tornado. So this is going to go to the north of Daleville. And it's something you want to make sure that you are paying attention to. Although it doesn't look like much now. It looks like we probably have some straight line winds within this storm. This is the area that we'll have to watch for that spin up of a tornado over the next couple of minutes. And down the line here, I'm going to call you out, Newton, because you're the next in line for the storm. Ozark, this is going to stay to your south. So if you're in Ozark, then you are good. Enterprise, New Brockton, this has moved past you as well. So again, from looking at the correlation coefficient, there is a chance that we did have a tornado touchdown briefly in portions of Coffee County. So this storm means business. This is nothing to mess around with. So if you are getting the alert that you are under that tornado warning, then I want you to take it seriously, because let's check. There probably... No, doesn't look like we have any hail within this storm, or the products just decide not to work now. But
it's on the southern edge of it.
Either way, yeah, there's a little bit of hail on the southern edge to the south of Daleville. So just make sure that you are in your safe place with this storm. So, Zach, I know you're keeping an eye on it. You're watching the other storms, because there's quite a few that we're trying to watch here all at one time. So what are the other storms in the area looking like?
Well, checking out the different velocity views, I'm not seeing anything of overly of a concern anywhere else. There's just little spots here and there that might try to be some broad rotation. I think this is the main game in town right now. I know you're seeing some real light blues show up there around Dozier and also parts of Crenshaw County. That's pretty far from the radar. That's some gusty winds aloft. A lot of that's not reaching the ground in that intensity. Maybe it's 35, 40 mile per hour winds. As we look closer to the radar, we get a better view of what's really happening at and around ground level. And still staying with this storm just around the Fort Rucker area, it might hold on to this warning if it keeps looking like this. Of course, we check different views, different areas of the atmosphere aloft, and if we can get that rotation to stay not only way above and also way below the radar, then we might keep this warning here. But now the warning has been trimmed back from Enterprise. The danger has now passed, and it doesn't look as impressive right now. It looks like maybe it's just trying to turn more into gusty wind type of threat. It could try to spin up something again, over the next 5-10 minutes. Right now, though, it's behaving a little bit better, and that's what we'd like to see as it gets right through the Fort Rucker area. We'll be heading toward Newton, where that main area of rotation is still trying to hang on. It'll be around the Newton area in the next 5 minutes or so. Wouldn't surprise me if a tornado warning was issued for the Newton area. I would be prepared for that just in case. But hopefully you're sheltered in the Fort Rucker area and areas east of there. I'll zoom into some more streets getting closer here to the center of concern. So the Kelly area, Newton area, I would be in a safe place or thinking about getting one soon. South Novacell Street, real close to some gusty winds stretching to Daleville. And that is the only tornado warning that we have right now. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for a big part, almost the whole county of Geneva. And that's because this cluster is now pushing into northern parts of Geneva County. Aside from the tornado threat, there's a lot of lightning in some of this and heavy, heavy rainfall. We're talking several inches of rain have fallen already this morning in spots like Opp, just over around 4.5 inches of rain, I believe it is. Got a report 2 minutes ago, Shell Army Field gusted to 40 knots, so I think that's about 44, 45 miles per hour. But the rotation's still a concern enough that we're going to stick with this here. And this whole cluster is moving at 35 miles per hour ground speed. So think about a car in a school zone that might be going a little bit too fast in that school zone. And that's what we're seeing here at the speed of this. So getting closer to Newton, we'll see if they hold on to the tornado warning. And then that would also get further into Midland City area. But so far, the Dothan area is good from the immediate tornado threat. Hopefully it stays that way. We're watching our different views here. And Emily, do you see anything from any of the cameras there? Anything from the Ozark camera?
No, everything is very rain wrapped. Just seeing lots of heavy rainfall there. I'm actually looking at 2 different radar products here on our iPad and my cell phone, but really the cameras are not impressive. We're not seeing anything. And again, this is very typical for Alabama. We very rarely can you even picture some lowering or things like that, because again, most of the time it is rain wrapped, and that's what we're really seeing today as it's inching closer to the city of Dothan. And I say that as in terms of rainfall. Going to see that start to get a little bit closer. But Hatcher, I have been, or Zach Hatcher, sorry. Hatcher is his nickname that I call him. But I'm looking at different radars, and if I go to our Eglin radar, that's when we can see a little bit of a different view there. So it's a little bit harder, I know, on y'all's products than it is for what I'm using on the iPad. But you can see a little bit of stronger wind gust with that Eglin radar view, really over in Dale County, just east of Clayhatchie. Fort Rucker, seeing a little bit of where that rotation could have been. Just a different view there. So again, I've been taking different views of radar points of these systems. But yeah, as of right now, camera-wise, really not seeing anything. Yeah,
but this system is getting into Houston County now. And right there on the far western edge near Wicksburg, we're getting some heavy rainfall moving into Wicksburg, maybe some gusty winds with that and lightning. So you probably hear this one coming. I wouldn't be out driving in this because there are a few pockets just west of County Road 123 that looks like it's torrential downpour there in spots. Wouldn't be playing around with that. Hopefully everyone's not driving through this. And that goes for much of this line, this Boeing segment. Just a ton of rainfall in here. And it doesn't matter how skilled you are, you can always turn around, find a different route, turn around, don't drown. I know that people say that a lot, but it is a very truthful thing to live by, and it can save a life. But yeah, a lot of heavy rain now moving into most of northern Geneva County as that cluster kind of creeps in from the west and northwest. This is moving almost eastward, has a slight east-southeastward movement to it, and it will be getting closer to the Hartford area. And I want to go back to this tornado warning because still we have a threat to watch. And it's pretty close to Daleville. It's not super tight on this product or this other one here, the Storm Relative. But there could be some damage from it. There could be some limbs blown around. And if this were to turn into a tornado, then it would be a much worse situation. I just don't see potential. I don't see an imminent tornado with this. Still a tornado warning for Daleville as this very broad rotation gets closer to County Road 249. So I would be sheltered in the Daleville area and areas north of there too. Fort Rucker right there along your area now. Let's get a scan that's recent here. So this is at 10:35, and then it moved into the Fort Rucker area around 10:44, 10:45. Now it's getting out of the way just a bit, but right there around the Kelly area, the Newton area, I think that the warning's probably going to stay for a little while longer as we try to determine how much of a threat this is with this rotation until we can get some further signs of weakening, which it doesn't look as strong as it once did, but still bears watching. And
I'm actually going to, I'm going to take it back from you for a minute there, Zach. I want to mention our other friends, you know, in Henry County and Early County, Georgia. We haven't forgot about y'all, but it's a good thing that we're not calling you out, because guess what? That means that the weather where you are isn't severe. Yeah, you are seeing some very heavy rainfall and some lightning. Blakely's seeing that heavy rainfall right now, and even Headland, but this part of the storm is not looking as impressive as the parts that move through Coffee County and into Dale County. So let's switch over to velocity. See? We are not seeing any reds and greens touching each other in this area. That is some good news. That's what we like seeing, because that means it's just rain, much needed rainfall. So switching it back to velocity, we're going to go down here. Yes, your phone probably went off if you have that forewarned weather app here in Dothan. Hey, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, and the severe thunderstorm is still off to your west. So you have about 30 minutes before the weather goes downhill here in Dothan. And of course, pretty much all of Geneva County is under that severe thunderstorm warning as well. You will start to see the very heavy rainfall and the gusty winds, but of course we still have this tornado warning in effect for portions of Dale County. So let's switch back over to velocity here, and I'm going to zoom in because it does look like we have an area of some higher winds. So we're going to keep an eye on this. This is actually outside of that tornado warning. Inside the tornado warning, if you're in Fort Rucker or Daleville, even Kelly, things are looking up for you. But it's this area that I want to keep a watch on. This is to the south of Newton, and just area of brighter greens there means some stronger winds will be possible in that storm. So we'll have to see what the National Weather Service ends up doing with this tornado warning. But hey, if you're in Coffee County, say you're in Enterprise, the tornado threat for you is over. You're still under a severe thunderstorm warning for the time being, but that tornado threat has now moved off towards your east. So places like Midland City, you're going to be next in line for this possible chance of this tornado warning being extended to your area. Right now you're seeing very, very heavy rainfall and a lot of lightning. So is Clayhatchee. So again, the threat's not over just yet. And if you live in Taylor and Dothan, well, you're next in line to see these storms move in. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this, especially this tornado warning, as we head into the next little bit. And like I said, this area right here, just to the south and the west of Midland City, is an area to watch as we head into the next few minutes here. So let's see if we can, Zach, I know you're over there with the National Weather Service, and I don't know if you're probably watching the same area that I see. It's outside of the tornado warning, but this area is definitely something to keep an eye on. Is the National Weather Service saying anything about this?
I'm keeping an eye on damage reports. There's been reports of a tree down on County Road 107 in Coffee County. That's near County Road 2028. And then there were some reports of trees down County Road 189 near County Road 443. And I think that was probably around Coffee County too. There were not any actual locations of that, but yeah, I think that was Coffee County. So there has been some instances of a few reports of damage. Some gusty winds, maybe close to damaging wind gusts, have caused this. But right now, my main concern is this spot just southwest of Pinkard, kind of have that brightening up of the green color near that red. So this is a couplet, and it could be enough to continue that tornado warning into the Midland City area. And we'll see if they do anything else with this warning. Wouldn't surprise me because it is very suspect as it moves toward the east and southeast. So right now the worst of this is, and I'll clear this from there and get you some better street views. So right now the worst of it is coming near Midland City and just southwest of there, and that will be getting closer to the County Road area of 49 and 47. Had to zoom in a little bit closer because those two numbers were jumbled together. But County Road 49, County Road 47, I would be sheltered if you're anywhere around that, because this is enough of a couplet to where they might need a warning, another tornado warning to cover this. And we're just waiting to see if that warning continues further into Dale County. For now, though, not seeing a warning on here, but it might need one based on what we're seeing, especially if that tries to tighten up. So that the whole tornado warning has now been dropped. So we'll see if there's any adjustment to where they want to put another one, because that could need one. And
yeah, I don't feel good about that one, Zach.
Yeah.
I would see that being a tornado warning shortly.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm kind of interrupting you, but I'm looking
good.
at the sky cam right now. This is our flowers cam, and this is looking in Dothan right now. We can see lots of lowering, but haven't seen anything very specific that would indicate a tornado. But again, lowering of those clouds is not really something that we want to see, but this is looking in Dothan right now. This is from our flowers sky cam. I'm going to kind of take a little bit of a spin around the city just to kind of show you guys what all is going on.
It's funny, we've been talking about spin all morning.
Yep, we definitely have. But I am seeing, again, this is a look right now in Dothan from our flowers camera, but just wanted to check in there. But yeah, I don't feel too great about that system. I think we definitely need to stay on that one, but Hatcher or Amber, I don't know.
I'll take it back over here. So we are keeping an eye on this area. Again, we don't have a tornado warning for this. They dropped the tornado warning that was with this sale, but this is just south of Pinkard. So if you're in Pinkard, make sure that you are taking your tornado precautions, although there's not a warning out for this. County Road 47, this is in Dale County, and Midland City, you're going to be the next in line for this. So if you are in Midland City or Pinkard, make sure that you are away from your doors and windows as this moves through. Again, there's no tornado warning on this, but something we will definitely continue to keep an eye on. I know, Kenneth, you were talking to me in the back. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump off broadcast since we don't have any active warnings. We will stay on the stream, though, so if you want to continue to keep up with this, we will be streaming online and on our app, and if we do go under another warning, we will be back on broadcast.
This has been a forewarned weather alert.